economic opportunities, in the sense that aside the fact that there are a lot of things that government is doing, there are still to a large extent some of the things that the youth needed to enjoy in terms of incentives, in terms of preparing the enabling environment for them to thrive with their skills and their various industries. Those things are lacking. And as long as all these things are lacking, there will still be a lot of tug of war in terms of crime rates, because it is when the opportunities are not there for the youths, the teeming youths, it will always give them the opportunity to do the other way around. Some of them will be involved in various crimes that sometimes it borders the society. And so as a result, as long as all these economic opportunities are not there for them to enjoy, even if it is not 100%, at least the enabling environment for them to thrive with their skills is such that it will also help the economy and the society to develop. There will still be a lot of challenge.
Well, thank you very much. Everybody, when you say that the empowerment programs that have been introduced in the Nigerian space have not been of impact to the youths?
Yeah, so the empowerment programs being introduced by the government has really done a lot to get us to where we are currently. But the most important thing is that a lot needs to be done in order to ensure that all the youths are carried along. So something that we all need to understand is the fact that most of these opportunities are only limited to some people. Because by the time you check...
So how do you mean?
Of course, I'm going to explain. So by the time you check, you will discover that there are some things that comes with them, probably in terms of the qualification that you have before you can be able to access some opportunities. Some of them might come with those who you know, in terms of connections. So we discover that there are a lot of profiling going on. And in a country that has about 70% of its population as youth, anything that we want to be doing has to be targeted towards this population. I mean, this is the population that can conveniently drive the economy.
Yeah.
So these are the things that we need to look at in terms of empowering the youth. So now we need to look at our problem, because the truth is that our problem as a country is systemic. So if we are looking at solutions, then we should be looking at solutions from a systemic angle. So we should be looking at systemic solutions. So what are the things that we need? What are the things that we really lack as a country? So we should be challenging our empowerment programs towards these things. We know that we need food security. We're talking about insecurity. So anything that we have to be doing, we have to be empowering youth in a way that they can be much more involved in agriculture. We also need to ensure that we give them the right education to understand some values. I mean, talking about insecurity, you discover that most of the people that are being used for this insecurity are youth. So why can somebody in their right senses that knows what is at stake just go forward and, okay, you go and bomb somewhere? But because of the fact that they don't have this, they don't even know where their next meal is coming from. So someone will just come and tell them that, okay, just have this money, this amount of money if you can do this. So it is very easy to lure them. Yes. So by the time we start coming from the angle of giving them things that they need to understand, things they need to know, it will help them to be able to, take a decision as regards themselves. So something is important. We need to understand that self-awareness is important. When they have this identity, they know who they are. It will help them to be able to take decisions for themselves. They will not be at the mercy of some people, probably some politicians or some other people that are feeding them. So they'll be self-reliant, they'll be able to take decisions, and they'll be able to contribute to the growth of the economy.
But when you look at the academic curriculum, the syllabus,
yes,
in primary, secondary, and technical schools, are you saying that they are not meeting the needs, the current needs of the youth?
Yes, I will agree with you with that question. I will agree with you on that. Nigeria as a country, at this stage, our curriculum is not up to date, so to say. And this is 21st century, of course, where there is an immense and massive opportunities in the digital world. There are several digital skills. There are digital skills that need to be included in this curriculum of the Nigerian education.
Right from the primary school?
Right from the primary school, right. Because there are young boys and girls now that are now learning coding skills, artificial intelligence, game and programming, and all that. So many to be learned. In most of the foreign countries, these are part of the skills that are included in their curriculum right from the primary school age, even in the nursery, because they believe that as long as these children are exposed to the right skills, because every subject that is to be taught in the school has certain skills that every learner will take interest in. So once a learner is able to learn that from the age, from the primary school, he or she is exposed, he could do a lot of things. Let me give you an example. For instance, if you open your phone now and you go to the, if you are using an Android phone precisely, you go to the Google Play Store, most of the applications you see there were being manufactured by young boys and girls. That is to tell you the impact of digital skills that need to also be included in our curriculum.
So how are Nigerians adapting to that level?
At the moment, we have a lot of young boys now and girls now who are learning it, but it needs to still go more. It needs to be given priority, because in the next 10 years to come, we will not be talking about, I don't have phone, I cannot do this, because everything is now online. There are youths now who are already doing this, who are producing, and they are manufacturing things that we can use. For instance, now, we have a fintech industry in Nigeria being run by Nigerians. That's what I'm trying to say. Because digital technology can give us greater opportunity if we give it the chance in our educational curriculum.
Adebori, must we rely on government?
Well, relying on government is, I would say that will be one of our greatest mistakes, because all over the world, there is no country that will rely on their government alone. Individuals, even in this Nigeria, we have something we call the private-public partnership. So that is the place of non-governmental organizations coming in. For example, there is an organization in Nigeria, Teach for Nigeria, which is also a part of the Teach for All network. So what they do is that they recruit graduates as teachers in low-income community schools in Ogun State and Lagos. We have in Kaduna and in other states. So one of the things that they do is that they allow these graduates to enter the classroom to learn about the challenges of these schools, these students. So they prefer solutions. They develop the leadership capabilities of these students. There is something they also do, which we call the Be the Change project. So one of the things that we do is that as an organization, we work with the government to ensure that we support what they are doing, we identify some of these challenges, so that we also, after the 2 years fellowship, these guys, they become alumni of the fellowship. And then they have their alumni pathways. We have some that are policymakers, some work in the schools as educators. So each pathways, by the time you come into the fellowship, you understand that this is the problem. So in my whole area, how can I create solutions? How can I continue to support these schools? For instance, I was with some teachers that have passed through the fellowship about a week ago. So the person discovered that in their school is actually an annex here in the state. And the government has provided the opportunity for them to have an annex because of the large number of students in that area. So what this person is doing is that they are looking for sponsors in order to build the school such that they'll be able to have structures to accommodate the students that they are having. So you can see that this organization is developing this leadership mindset in people, because leadership we need to understand that leadership is not just about, being in a position. Leadership is making impact. Seeing yourself as a solution provider. So by the time we all develop that mindset, it will help our nation. We begin to see the problem as something that we also need to do something to ensure that we find a solution. There is a story that one of my boss usually says. It's called the hummingbird story. So the hummingbird is discovered that there is fire in their zoo, and all the animals, including the lion, elephants, all of them were running out. They were saying, there is fire in the zoo. So everybody were running. Everybody was running, and nobody is to quench the fire. So this hummingbird, as small as it is, got to a nearby stream and was using its beak to pick water. People were like, what are you doing? Are you being serious at all? So it was on the long run that people started saying that, okay, we can also join this person to create the change that we want. So that is why we need to understand that change begins with us. If me as a person, I have a way of supporting youth, if it's in terms of mentorship, that is what some organizations are doing. They are bringing in programs, trying to support our youth. They are bringing in opportunities to help our youth to identify who they are and also to develop them. So we need to understand that not everybody will go into entrepreneurship.
Of course.
Not everybody will say that, okay, I want to have a business. Some people will work with other people. It's normal. So having this mindset will also help us to avoid profiling. We will not see some people that are not working in big companies as, okay, these ones are not doing well. And then we begin to see ourselves as we are all part of the system. We are all doing something to ensure that we achieve the Nigeria of our dream. So we're going to understand that we are all together and we are here to do something to ensure that this country moves forward.
Thank you very much. You are all in the educational sector.
Yes, sir.
And I want to find out, the youth of nowadays, particularly in primary, secondary, and tertiary sections,
Yes.
are they expressing themselves joyfully?
Well, I think they are, because it is the joyfulness now, the time is now being determined by the kind of environment they find themselves. Because, as it were, the environment has made it in such a way that, especially with the use of the phone, a lot of youths are expressing themselves, dancing, through dancing, doing all that, not minding what is going on in the country. And as a result of that, a lot of people are now creating content with the use of their phone, not even looking at what is going on in the country, such that they are bothered. That is to some set of youth. While we still have a lot that are into several crimes. And that is where the issue is. If we still have a lot or a higher percentage of youths who are not joyful, who are feeling sad about what is going on, maybe because there is unemployment, they are jobless, they are not being taken care of, they are thinking that maybe they are from a family where they are not well taken care of by their family. That will still create a lot of issues. So there is need for more enabling environment. My partner there has mentioned the issue of creating more opportunities for the youth. It is very important because this will go a long way to creating an environment where the society will be developed. Because what the youth contributes to the national development, it's very big. It's a massive contribution if they are given the necessary support.
Just like as we have in China and Japan.
Yes, sir.
Where the youth are the drivers of the economy.
Including Singapore.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, Adibori, how are the youths getting connected to the world? Is there an improvement or an impact in what they get internationally? But you realize that we're in a global village.
Of course.
What is the impact? Are they being rewarded, or is it otherwise?
Yeah, so being connected to the world has been the only thing that has also helped youth to, understand more of themselves, like have a great sense of their self-worth. I mean, through social media, we have access to more opportunities.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of us are doing some of the things that we are doing now because of the fact that we have social media.
Yes.
I mean, that is where we see these opportunities that, okay, this is something I can actually do. A lot of people are going out of the country, they are traveling out, we call this jackpot thing. The reason why they are doing most of these things is because they see opportunities in other countries. Like, okay, yeah, I can actually go to this country, I can have my master's, and then I will also get graduate assistantship. I will also be teaching there. So we have access to funding, we have access to more opportunities online. So being a the fact that the world is a global village now is one of the things that is even helping us. You know, for example, we are talking about creative economy. Even the government now has a ministry for that. So any country that wants to grow will know that we cannot take out internet, we cannot take out technology. Yes. So this is something that is really opening our eyes to some of the things that we can do, and it's also giving us leverage.
How beneficial is the creation of that ministry to the youth?
Yes. So I think the ministry is a new ministry actually. Yes, so we expect
the digital economy.
Creative economy. Yeah. So we expect that ministry to, I think one of the things that the minister was saying is that they want to identify people that are in that area and bring them together, let them create a solution for this country, because something is important. We need to be talking about contextualized solution.
Yes.
The fact that the solution is working in other parts of the country does not mean that it will work in our own context. So we need to look at it from our context. So I love what the minister is doing, trying to bring them together and see how they can actually support the country. Because go to other countries, you will discover that most of the people that are thriving there, their systems are being led by some of our Nigerians.
Yes.
I mean, Nigerians are all over the world. Everywhere you go, you see us. And then what are we doing there? Because of the fact that that country, those environments, they allow us as youths to thrive. It becomes easier. I mean, we've heard about even young children in Shagamu. We are talking about some of the students of secondary school, creating robots.
Yes.
Any serious government will find a way to empower these ones. So we've seen some of our youths doing marvelous things. We are talking about electric cars. In Borno State, despite insecurity, we have some youths that are working on electric keke, electric bicycles and all that. So these are the people that we should be funding, not just carrying all our money and taking it out of the country and asking Toyota or other companies to come and build cars for us. So the most important thing is that we need to see that, yes, these things are beneficial. It opens our eyes. It gives us the opportunity. Not all of us will say that, okay, all of us want to leave the country and we are traveling out. But we can see that through the internet, we can even study for degrees, for advanced degree. I have a friend that finished from Harvard in 2020. She started in 2020. And she did her education online.
Okay.
She has a master's in education. So what we are saying is that the internet, this exposure to creative economy will give us the opportunity, the leverage to be connected to the world, to be able to work with other people all over the world. I worked with a lot of people during the COVID-19. I worked with about 9 countries in Africa where I did a training on STEAM for them. So the internet is a big place. It's something that we all need to leverage if we really want to get anything better.
Thank you very much. Will you say, Mary, will you say that the empowerment schemes in Nigeria are enough? And if they are enough, what is the average benefit that the youth have derived?
Well, there is nothing that will ever be enough when it comes to the human terrain, because human needs are insatiable. And as a result, as far as the youths are concerned, I believe we still need to involve every other areas of skill for empowerment. We should not leave it only to the technical or the vocational. There are now sporting skills, because all of these things are part of what make up a development, a continuous stable economic development. The schemes that have been proffered in the last years, they are still very, very good for us. But there is no need for government and various private institutions, NGOs, to also give more opportunities for that, such that every youth in the country, no matter where they are, no matter their tribe, they are able to also work with what they have, use what they have in order to better the economy.
Well, thank you very much. Viewers, I think we've gathered some points from our youths,
Yes.
and it's rewarding. And of course, we used to say that the value of a country is not known by its riches or assets,
Yeah.
but by its people's quality. The quality of living, the quality of education,
Yes.
the access to employment and the likes are the vital values that can engender growth and national development. It is on that note that I want to really appreciate Glory Oludare,
Welcome, sir.
founder, TRO Consult,
Yes, sir.
an educational outfit,
Yes, sir.
and also Adebayo Adebori is also the founder, EduWin, Education Wins. And of course, you can see the impact of education and how these youths are really thriving. Viewers, this is how far we can go today. Until next week, when we'll have to continue with this topic, because these are issues, and the socio-economic challenges in Nigeria are enormous. We would like to also dwell more into other areas that can improve the lives of the people. Until next week, I'm Abeokuta, your uncle. Bye.